Our today's topic is federalism. Class 10th, Civics, chapter number 2. Federalism, if we define in simple language, is division of power. This division of power can be seen with examples around us in many institutions. The simplest example can be seen in the school that we study in. In a school, what we see is that for proper administration, there is division of power or division of sections. In a school, what we see is that there is an administrative block where all the admission related and all the paperwork is done. Then there is a primary block which deals with the students of classes KG till class 5. Then we have the junior block which carries the students of class 6th to 8th, and then finally the senior block. Why is there any need of division of power? We could have held all the classes together nearby each other. What was the use or what is the use of this kind of formation or such kind of division? It is simple enough to see that the division is made to make the administration easier. In the example of school itself, if we see that when we are dealing with the students of primary classes, they are very young in age, they require lot of attention, and their mode of study is also different from what we see in the junior and the senior section. In the junior section from classes 6 to 8, there are a lot of subjects and pressure is put on them from every field, if it is academic, if it is co-curricular, if it is sports or anything, because they are in a learning stage and a lot of attention is required in this age. When we move on to the senior block, here the children are mature and not much of attention is required when we talk about discipline or when we talk about small things. They are mature enough to understand, they are concentrating on their studies, they are serious about their studies, and what is their requirement is for a silent environment for them to study. So for different needs, different areas are allotted so that their needs can be fulfilled. And in the prayer ground or the assembly ground, all the students of the school are same. If they are standing in the assembly ground, their rights are the same. They can be a part of the assembly, they can be a part of the activities happening in the assembly, and if any wrong thing is done by the students in the assembly ground, the punishment is also the same for the students. It does not matter if the students belong to any of these blocks. So now what we see here is that the division is done so that there is a proper administration. The same system can be seen when we talk about a bigger area like our country. In a country, federalism is practiced, which is again a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country, so that the ruling can be easy enough. Federalism can be broadly divided into two types. The first is holding together federalism and the next is coming together federalism. First, let us talk about the coming together federalism. In the coming together federalism, what is seen is that different states come together by their will so that they can unite together to form a bigger union. Now, why is there need to get united? There could be a common cause, there could be a common threat to those states which forces them to get united and form a union so that they can be a bigger force. The states get more powerful when they get united. So when we witness such kind of situations, it is termed as coming together federalism. It is the states coming together to form a union. The best example of this can be seen like the United States of America. All the states, they were basically under the rule of the British, and to get over that British rule, the states of America, they got united, they came together and they formed the United States of America. The main feature of this coming together federalism is that because the states have come together by their will to form the union, the states hold the same power as the union. Here the center cannot overrule or overpower the states. So the center holds equal power as the state. As an example, like I have given you USA, there could be more examples like Switzerland, Australia, etc. Now, moving on to the second type of federalism, which is kind of different from what we see in the coming together federalism. It is holding together federalism. As the word itself says, that it is holding the states together. Now, we can see here that the states may or may not be willing to be a part of the union, because they could be demanding their own federation, they could be demanding their own separate independent states. So what is required here is that there should be a central power which could hold together all the states so that it is not, the union does not get disintegrated or gets broken down into separate or several states. The best example here can be seen as India. Also Spain, Belgium, etc. Now, unlike in the coming together federalism, in the holding together federalism, what is witnessed is that the center is more powerful than the state. And why is that? It is because the center is putting the efforts to hold the states together, and states are not all similar. They are belonging to different culture, they belong to different language, and because they are different, the center has to make efforts to put them into a single unit or keep them together. So here the center holds more power in comparison to the state. Now coming to the main features of federalism. The first and foremost feature is there is two or more than two levels of government. There is a central government, there is a state government, and if there is a possibility, there could be a local government or a local authority which could make the work easier to function. The next feature is the division of power. Now that we have made two or more levels of the government, giving them power is very important. Why? Because if you have made the levels and you have not given them their separate powers, there will be no use of these divisions. Otherwise, it will be like what we are facing earlier. It is a single power. The power will be in one hand only. If we are not giving power to the divisions we are making to the levels of government we have made. The first and foremost division here is the union list. It is a list which contains the power of the center on which the central holds the authority. In this list, there are around 97 subjects, and all these subjects hold the areas of national interest. For example, defense, foreign affairs, currency, atomic energy, etc. Now, if we scrutinize the list further, we can question why the defense is given to the union list or why the foreign affairs is in the union list. To clarify this, the defense cannot be given in the state list. Why? Because if any particular state is given the defense power, it is going to put all the resources of defense for foremost its own protection, and the rest of the states will be left neglected by that particular state. But if we have put the topic of defense in the union list, what we see here that it is the duty of the union to provide defense to the whole country. That is why we never call our army as Haryana army or Rajasthan army. It is the Indian army because it provides protection, it provides defense to the whole country. Also, like topics that we have given here, foreign affairs, currency, atomic energy, these are all subjects which deal with the interest of the whole country. The currency cannot be made of states in particular because it will be difficult to trade them. The foreign affairs are dealt with the union because the foreign countries, they are not going to deal with states or internally to do commerce. Atomic energy, as it is the biggest source of energy in present time, it cannot be given to a particular state for producing it. So all these topics hold importance of the national interest. The second point here is, or the second list is the state list. In the state list, the topics which contain the subjects of local importance or the state importance are included. There are around 66 6 subjects in this. For example, police, trade, agriculture, etc. These again can be clarified why the topics are put in the state list. Police is for the local guardian. It works as a local guardian, local protective unit, and it deals with the problems of the state or the local areas. Trade, because different states hold different resources and trade is different in different states. Some states are good in agriculture, some states are good in tourism, some states are good in resources like minerals. So every state holds different resources and trade is done in different manner in different state. So it is better to provide this facility to the state itself, because then it can handle the trade more significantly than if it is given in the union list. Agriculture is again an area of state importance, that states of different soil type, different climate hold different kind of agriculture, and thus the states are given the rights over the agriculture. Now the third list here is the concurrent list. It includes subjects of common interest of the state and the union, and both state and union can make laws in this. Topics like, it holds around 47 subjects. Topics like education, forest, marriages, trade, etc. are added in this list. Trade is a common topic. If we see in the state list, we have trade in the form of foreign affairs in the union list also. So trade is a common factor in both the lists. So it is also included in the concurrent list. Both the union as well as the state government can make laws regarding these topics, and if there is any conflict, the laws made by the union are superior in comparison to of the state and they usually prevail. But now that we have given all the topics in the union list, the state list and the concurrent list, what about the topics which are including now by the new innovations, by the new discoveries done going on in the present time? All these topics are added in the residuary list. Matters which are not yet included in the division of power. Or which got introduced later on are in the residuary list. For example, computer softwares. The next feature is that the judiciary is independent and guardian of the constitution. The highest court acts as an umpire What this means is that the judiciary is completely away from the influence of either the state or the center. It says that neither the state nor the center can influence the decision of the judiciary. Suppose if there is any clause which could influence the judiciary either by the state or the center, what could have been the result? It would have meant that the decisions made by the judiciary could be changed in favor of the state or the center, whichever is influencing the judiciary. Then it would not have meant complete democracy, or it would not have meant complete justice. So to be away from that kind of partiality, judiciary is made completely independent of any influence, and in case of any conflicts between the center or the state or between any two states, it acts like a guardian, and the decision given by the Supreme Court is the final one, and it acts as an umpire. The next feature is also an important one. That the changes in the law cannot be done by a single tier. It means that if there has to be a change in the law, and or there is any need of introducing any new law, the process is not simple enough, or the process cannot be conducted by a single level of the government. It means that the recognition of the state is also important. The recognition of the state is also important, and the center cannot make all the decisions by itself. It has to give a bill in the parliament, and it has to be passed by 2/3 majority. Then it also has to be rectified by 50% of the legislature of the states, and then only anything becomes a law. So it takes the consideration of all the states, the majority of the states. It takes the consideration of the parliament, and then only any bill becomes a law. So the change in law is not so simple, or cannot be done by a single tier. The next feature is different sources of finance. Now that we have given different powers to the levels or the division that we have made, the sources of finance also have to be different. What if they clash? If I give the same source of finance to both the state and the center, then the revenue which will be earned will be a matter of controversy, that who will be the authority of that revenue. So for finance, for better administration in all these levels, in all the level of the government, either the center, the state, or the further division which is the local government, they have their separate source of finance. They have their separate mode of income. They put taxes on their particular jurisdiction, and they earn the money from there by the taxes they put, and the taxes are completely specified differently, that they do not clash, so that to avoid any kind of conflicts between the state or the center or the local authority. So their area of finance are completely different, and there are the sources of finance which are given and particular. And the final feature is the formation, which is the union, the state, and the local government. What is the job of this division? The main feature of the union is to maintain the unity. The work of the union has to spin around the binding of the country, the unity of the whole country. It cannot let go of the unity of the country, because if we talk about the example of our country, ours is a holding together federalism. That is, the states have to be held together to be a part of the union. So to be a united state, what is required is to respect the diversity. So here comes the second. that we have to respect the diversity of the state. Unless we do this, we are not going to be a part of the union. Unless you respect what is around you and you accept it the way it is not going to be a part of the union. That is why the diversity of the state is respected and is maintained, so that they can be a part of the union of the country. And then the final division, which is the local government, it is to be in direct contact. Direct contact in the sense that the union or the state cannot reach the very bottom of the administration or to what the people are worried about, what their problems are. So now to deal with that, the local governments were introduced so that they can take care of the minute problems of the people which they deal with, and they could be in direct contact of the people. So all these features, they define us what a federal government has to be like. Now the question arises, is India a federal country? The answer is yes. Why yes? Because the features we have seen, we only have to clarify all the features to write the answer of this question. Coming from the first feature, there are two or more than two tiers of system. Yes, there are two or more than two tier system in our government. We have the union government, the state government, and then the final local government. There is division of power, the second feature. Correct, it goes with our country as well. We also have the division of power, the union, the state, the concurrent, and the residuary list. The third feature, judiciary is independent and guardian of the constitution. Correct, it goes with our country as well. We have a separate judiciary which cannot be influenced by either level of the government, and it gives a fair decision. The fourth feature, that changes in the law cannot be made by the single tier of the government. Yes, it again goes correct when we refer to our country. The changes have to be rectified by the parliament, by the 50% legislatures of the state, and then only any bill becomes a law. The finance sources are different for different levels of the government. Then again it is correct. And the final feature, that the central authority is to maintain the unity, the state is to maintain the diversity, and the local government to maintain direct contact with the people for better administration. All the features go correct or yes when we refer to our country. So the question is going to be answered in the same way. We only have to elaborate the points we wrote in the features.